So I have wanted to make this wreath for a really long time, and I'm so excited that I finally decided to make it. So you're going to want to pick up one of these witch's hat wreath forms from the Dollar Tree. Once you have the wreath form, you're going to need an old pair of jeans. You can either get that at the thrift store or just use a pair of jeans you might have around your house. These are my husband's old work pants. I've been using them for a couple other projects and some other videos, and so I just had some pieces of this left. I have about half to like 2/3 of this pair of pants left. You're going to use probably the majority of the pair of pants to make this wreath. It kind of depends on how you cut and what pieces you want to use. So for the beginning part, we're going to go ahead and take this section of jeans that you want to use. I wanted to have a pocket on mine. If you don't want to, you can just use a leg piece as well. So once I have it kind of positioned on the jeans, I'm going to kind of cut around here. We want to go at an angle, and you want to be able to fold some of it over on the back. So you're going to have to cut as you go. Once you have your desired section that you want to glue on, we're going to fold them over. You want a good point at the top because you want it to look like a pointy hat. Once you get the sides all glued on, I kind of had a work in progress here, but I had taken the bottom and I had folded it over the rung, but then I decided I didn't like that because I wanted to add something there at the bottom. You could still do that and then add your raffia to the jean part right there. It would have something more substantial to stick to. I chose to take it off the ring, kind of fold a little bit and hot glue. It's pretty sturdy, so you don't have to worry about it coming apart or moving around down there at the bottom, even though it's not attached to anything. Once I get that all together, I'm ready to do the bottom section. I decided to add my raffia first, and so I originally started trying to tie them onto the pieces, but I think I had too big of sections and I didn't like how that looked. So I took that all apart and decided to just hot glue it onto the rungs. Once I get it all hot glued, I'm going to go ahead and go around the sides and the bottom piece with my jean pieces. Now to make your jean pieces, you're going to take sections of your jeans, preferably the legs, and then you're going to go ahead and cut about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, and then you're going to tear. You're going to make several strips out of this. You can do your own desired length that you like, and then you're going to tie them into a knot. You're going to do that all around the outer ring of the wreath frame. There is also this little section that holds the pieces together in the middle. I went ahead and tied some around that as well because then you get some jean material in between your raffia. I also went inside the raffia pieces and just kind of added a few pieces of jeans in there, so you don't have this giant piece of raffia and then just some jean pieces. You can put as much or as little as you want in between there, just to kind of make it look like there is jean pieces sticking out of the raffia. Once you have your bottom part completed, then we're going to just add a couple of details. I took a piece of burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree and cut it into a little rectangle. I also took some ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree, cut a little square, glued that on top of my burlap. Then I decided to make a shabby bow using some of my leftover pieces of jeans and some not burlap ribbon, some plaid ribbon that I got at Dollar Tree, and I went ahead and crisscrossed them to make my shabby bow. I glued that to the top of my wreath, and then that is it. I love how this turned out. I'm really happy with it. Let me know if you're going to make this one or if you have seen this wreath before. I think it's adorable. I love making things with jeans. Let me know what you think about this one. For this project, you can pick up one of these boxes in the Dollar Tree Plus section. They are $3. I think hexagon shapes of any type are great for pumpkins. I've made a lot of different projects out of hexagon shapes for fall, but this one I decided to go ahead and put navy on the inside of my box. I'm using a caramel color for the outside of the box. I felt like both of those complemented our bow that we're going to use. Once I get it all painted, I'm just going to add my bow up at the top with some of these little little wood pieces. I got these at Hobby Lobby in a giant bag when they were on sale. There are all different sizes, so you can use them for all kinds of different projects. I'm going to take 3 of them, glue them on top of each other to make the stem. Then I'm going to glue my bow to the stem, and then I decided to add a few leaves. These also came from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to add them to the back, and that is it. This one was super simple, definitely my favorite of the day. Let me know what you guys think about this one. If you've made it this far in the video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and become a part of my YouTube family. If you are this far along in the video, comment a pumpkin emoji. So for this project, we don't even need any fall supplies necessarily, except for some florals, but we're going to pick up one of these beaded garlands. It is $1.25. We're going to get a piece of floral foam and one of these little square wood pieces you can get in the Dollar Tree Crafters Square aisle. All we're going to do is kind of make a little cutout in our floral foam, and we're going to put our beaded garland into the floral foam. I did need a lot of glue to make sure that this was sturdy and held up. You're going to want to hold on to it as well so that it doesn't fall down and that you have a good sturdy base. Once you have that in there, all we're going to do is add our florals. Now, if you want to paint your beads or your bottom piece, you can do that. I chose to leave it a neutral color. I added florals all from the Dollar Tree. This was super easy. I think it turned out really cute. I'm loving these pre-made bows that I found at Dollar Tree the other day. I think they're super cute patterns, and you know I love navy, and they have some really cute navy options. I'm just going to add one of these bows up at the top, and that is it for this project. Let me know what you guys think about this one. I love decorating for Halloween, and I'm more of a cutesy decorator than a gory, scary decorator, but I saw this inspiration piece that was similar to this, and I thought this would be so fun to make, super easy, and you can do this one with kids. So we're going to take a jar, and I just had a leftover mason jar, but you could use a pasta jar for this as well. You also need a mop head from the Dollar Tree. All we're going to do is take our piece that the pole would screw into. We're going to add some hot glue to that, and we're going to attach it to the top of our jar. Once I have that attached, I'm going to go ahead and flip over my mop piece and kind of brush out the mop piece. Then we're going to take this super cute hat pick I saw at the Dollar Tree. We're just going to take the bottom piece out of it. We're going to add some hot glue, add it to the top, and you get this really cute ghost that has a witch head. I decided that we needed a couple eyes. I did not have any black felt. I looked everywhere, so I guess I need to pick some of that up. But I just used some jeans, cut out some holes or some little ovals to make eyes, and then I painted them black so that we would have black eyes for our ghost. I hot glued them to my mop, and that is it. This is so cute, and there you could do different sizes, you could do different patterns on the front if you wanted, and definitely different hat options. But let me know what you think about this super cute ghost. I think rectangles and squares are the perfect shape for pumpkins. You can do all kinds of things with them, and you can have different large ones, you can have different small ones. I think it's really great to pair a couple different sizes together as well. We're going to take these blocks that I got at a garage sale, and I've had them for a really long time. They have just been sitting here wanting to be used, so we're going to give them some new life today. We're going to give them a coat of this cream acrylic paint that I had. I'm going to cover the entire block with one coat of the paint, and then we're going to we're going to give a second coat over the front of the block that has the letters on it. Once that dries, we're going to go ahead and add our embellishments here. Now, I got these at the Dollar Tree. These are super cute pieces of leather that they have over in the Halloween section. Now, I only picked up one of each of these, and I kind of wish I had got two because they're kind of small and I was only able to do one block with each piece of the leather. But we're going to go ahead, flip our blocks over, we're going to trace, and then we're going to cut out, and that is easy peasy for these two pieces. We're going to take these little wood rounds and we're going to glue those to the top of our pumpkins. I'm using two because these are kind of flat. If you can find the ones at Dollar Tree, those are my favorite. They're about this size and they make a perfect stem for pumpkins. Once I have those glued on my two leather piece pumpkins, now we're ready to do the rub-on transfer pumpkin. And so I just took the transfers and I cut out several different ones that I really liked, and then I just started applying. These are really easy. You're just going to use some kind of scraper type motion to go over the design and then peel it up very slowly to make sure it's sticking to your piece. And then I just kept adding little stars all around until I was really happy with the way that it looked. Once I'm all ready, the last piece I'm going to do here is take some ribbon that I had and I'm going to tie it around the stem, and then I go ahead and make some shoelace bows and I attach those to the top right in the middle where I already tied my ribbon. And then that is it for these. I love them. I love how they turned out, and you could always make these fall pumpkins instead of Halloween pumpkins if that is not your thing. Let me know what you guys think about these. For this project, I wanted to make a wreath, and I made one of these similar to this one but not exactly like this one in the summertime with some farmhouse fabric from the Dollar Tree, and I thought this would be really cute to make a Halloween one. So I'm going to do this one a little bit different than I made the other one, but we're going to take our hoop. I believe my hoop is from probably Hobby Lobby. You can get all different sizes, so you can make this as big or as small as you want. We're going to take some ribbon from the Dollar Tree and we're just going to wrap the ribbon all the way around the top ring of our hoop. Then we're going to glue at the first part, and then we're going to glue at the ending part. If you feel like you need more glue in there, you can go ahead and add more glue. I pulled these pretty tight as I was wrapping it around. Once I get that all glued on, then we're going to go ahead and get our fabric out. I got this fabric at Dollar Tree. They had some really cute Halloween fabric this year. Now we're going to go ahead, stretch it over our second hoop, and then we're going to put our top hoop on top and we're going to cinch it together. This is a little tight because we have something wrapped around the top part, but that's okay. You can stretch it a little bit and then push down. You want that fabric to be as tight as you possibly can. Once you have it tight and you're ready, you're going to flip it over and then you're going to cut around the back. Now you can cut as much or as little off. I'm going to go ahead. I tried to make it to where I could fold it into the bottom part of our hoop. A little parts of it were a little too short and I had to put glue in a different area, but I was able to get all the pieces folded over into the wreath part on the back to give it a little bit more of a finished look. Once we flip it over, we're ready to add a bow. This is a super easy project, I told you guys. So we're going to take our bow. You could do a shoelace bow here. I wanted a couple different types of ribbon, so I went ahead and made a shabby bow. This ribbon and fabric all came from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to crisscross them, cut them out, and then I'm using the fabric of the piece to tie it off in the middle. Once I have that all to my liking, I go ahead and dovetail the ends of this ribbon, and then we're going to glue it at the top of this wreath. To add a little bit more fun texture to this, I got these cutouts at the Dollar Tree. These cats are so cute and meant to look like a silhouette, so I thought that would be really cute for this project. We're going to glue it at an angle so its feet can be flush as the side of the circle, and I'm just using hot glue and attaching it to the fabric. That is it for this one. This is my favorite one of the day. Let me know what you guys think and if you're willing to recreate something like this. If If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and become a part of my YouTube family. If you are here, leave me a comment of a jack-o'-lantern in the comments and let me know you made it this far in the video. So if you get on TikTok ever, you know that they are all about their Halloween decorations, and I've seen these are really cute ghosts and some people making cats out of the same shape. I follow this artist on there and I'll leave a link down to her page, but she is also on Instagram as well, but she does some really amazing art projects that are for everyday people like myself, because painting and drawing is really not my specialty, but I thought these were really adorable, and so I thought I'm going to make them. So the idea is to use some kind of scraper or credit card to swipe down, but what I wasn't taking into consideration is in her videos, she's using a piece of paper and going all the way to the bottom of the piece of paper. I have a lip here on the sign that we're going to use today, and so that started to become a problem. I suggest if you want to make this project, you're going to just use a paintbrush and make the curved section of these ghosts all the way down. You don't really need the credit card for this particular project. But if you want to use it, just know that it was difficult just because a lot of paint pulled in the bottom, and then I got it onto the signage part. So we're going to take 3 different colors to make these 3 different groups of ghosts. I went with non-traditional colors just because I thought it was a little bit fun and not scary, which is what I'm into for Halloween. So I went ahead, and you're going to take your paint. Now in her video, she had this bottle that she had got that had a little bit smaller tip, but she did say that you could use the acrylic bottle and do the same thing. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to use our acrylic bottle. We're going to draw a like half circle, and then we're going to drag down with our scraper. Now this worked pretty well. Like I said, it gets caught at the bottom, and then I tried to recover, and then that became a problem, and I just ended up getting my paintbrush and painting the half circles up at the top. So I repeat that process 3 times. There was a little bit of mishap, and I got some on the outside of the frame, and then on the inside of the frame at the bottom there was a lot of paint there, so I just decided to cover that whole thing with some black paint. I went over the entire like frame part of the project with the black paint. Then we're ready to add our eyes. Now I have a couple different options here. You can use a Sharpie. I had a little bit of problem with the Sharpie, but I was able to go ahead and draw 2 eyes and color them in. So if you don't feel comfortable using your paintbrush, you can always use a Sharpie. You could also use a paint pen, and that would work just as well. But I'm going to go ahead and use the Sharpie for the first group, and then I go ahead and use a very small paintbrush for the second group. I personally like the paintbrush better, so I'm going to go ahead and do that for the rest of my eyes. I decided to add a little bow at the top of the shorter ghost, making it kind of look like these are a couple, and that's the female ghost. And then I decided to go one step further and add a couple of little white dots for the whites of the eyes. I just thought that these were missing something. So once I get that all done, this project is complete. I think they're really cute. I'd love to give it another try, maybe on a flat piece of paper, just to see how that worked out. But I've also seen these as cats, and so I'm kind of interested in making some cats out of these. We'll see how that goes. Let me know what you guys think about this one. So I love to decorate for Halloween, but definitely not in a scary way. And so this project is probably going to be the scariest project you're ever going to see on my channel. And it's not even that scary. But all we're going to do is we're going to take this cloche that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I also picked up this mirror that gave me some Halloween vibes. We're going to do the easiest project ever. We're going to take the bottom of our cloche, put some hot glue around the bottom, put it on top of our mirror, and then we're going to take the top of our cloche and we're going to add some Halloween goodies. Now you could put anything you want in here. I had these skulls on hand. They did come from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to pile them into the cloche, screw it back on, and that is it for this project. Super simple. This one's easy. A definite anyone can do this project. Let me know what you think about this one. So I had 5 projects for you guys today, and the 5th one was totally ugly and I threw it away. I'm not even gonna lie. I couldn't even give you like the mishap of it because it was just ugly and I just did not want to put it on here. So instead I pulled out a video that I had made a long time ago with one of these super cute projects for Halloween that is Hocus Pocus pumpkins. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take these 3 pumpkins from Hobby Lobby. They do have them this year. I saw them again, and we're going to draw the hairline in the front of the pumpkins of each of the Sanderson sisters. We're going to use the stems as part of their hair, so you're going to just paint the front of them, like the little part that you drew around the hairline, with the cream colored paint. Then you're going to take the colors of each one of their hair, which is black, blonde, and red, and you're going to cover each of the tops of these pumpkins with one of those colors to represent each of the sisters. Once you have those all painted, you need some kind of riser, or you could just put these out by themselves like that. I decided to use a wood block. I painted it with some black acrylic paint, and then I used my Cricut that I had at the time to cut out some Hocus Pocus words. I just used a fancy script and wrote it and cut it out. Once I had that done, I just applied it to the front of our wood block, and then the little pumpkins are going to sit on top of our wood block. This is so adorable. I still put it out every year because I love it, and I hope you guys love it too. Let me know what you think about this one. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to talk about some items at Dollar Tree that you can buy right now that you can decorate with right now that don't really need any DIYs or any fluffing up, and they're still going to give your home a high-end look. Let's get started. So the first thing I saw when I was going down the aisle was these really beautiful porch signs. Now, I've created a couple of porch signs on my channel. They can become expensive depending on the size that you want and the wood that you have to get, and then you have to get stencils. And the thing that I love about some of these ones that they have over at Dollar Tree is that you wouldn't be able to necessarily recreate these because these are more of a printed look, so you wouldn't be able to use your Cricut or any kind of stencils to get this look. They are pretty high-end looking. Here's some examples of ones I found online. These are only $5, so this is definitely one of those items to pick up and style in your home. Here is the one that I picked up, styled by my fireplace. For this item, I think this is the steal of the store this season. I know that charcuterie boards can be pretty pricey. This one is only $5. They have 2 designs. It is food safe. So this would make a really great hostess gift if you're going to a different home for Thanksgiving. You could also bring like the cheese and meat to put on it if you wanted to. It also looks super cute just as decor. So if you're not into the charcuterie board phase, then you can definitely just put it out as decor. This is a really nice wood. It comes with a little knife for the cheese portion. You cannot find another charcuterie board or cutting board that would meet this at a $5 price. So this is definitely one of those items. If you have a Dollar Tree Plus section, go get this now because it's going to sell out really fast. So the next item that I found was this decorative tray. Now, I thought these were really adorable. Recently, I've been trying to make a decorative tray that was kind of similar to this. I haven't quite got it down to what I want it to be yet, but I haven't been able to find anything in a store that was similar to this either. Now, I looked online and all the trays that I found online were a little bit different. They also are pretty pricey in terms of like what you get and wood versus plastic. plastic, but these are only $5. They have some super cute patterns on them. I found 3 in my store. I think there might be a 4th pattern that my store didn't carry. These do give me a little bit of Dollar Tree calendar vibes. There's a couple of them. I was thinking, yeah, someone might be able to recreate that, but these are a lot larger than the calendar page. So you would have to do something like adding paper on there, or you're just going to decoupage that into the middle, and so you wouldn't get quite the high-end look that these trays are going to give you. Now you can style these a couple different ways. I like to put my trays on my coffee table. I keep my remotes in there. Sometimes I put a decorative candle. It adds a little bit of high-end look to my thing, but continues to be functional, which is really helpful for me in my life. Let me know if you're going to pick up one of these trays, and I want to know which one of the ones I showed you guys is the one that gives you the calendar vibes. Let's see if we're on the same page. So in the Dollar Tree Plus section, I also found this fall Dollar Tree Lazy Susan. I thought this was so cute. I love a really cute Lazy Susan. So this one you can use in a couple different places. If you're not one to put a Lazy Susan on your table, that's okay, because you can also style it on a coffee table or something like that. You could put your remotes or any kind of items that you might want to get to at different areas in your home, but sitting in the same place. If your furniture is arranged like mine, that makes sense. But it's also a super cute decor piece, so even if you're not gonna Lazy Susan it around, it's still super cute. Here's some options that I found online, so you definitely cannot beat the $5 price. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Are you gonna pick up the Lazy Susan? I think you should. So another item that can get kind of pricey is a front door rug or mat. I found these over in the Dollar Tree Plus area. They have a couple different styles. I really liked this one. I've noticed that Dollar Tree has a lot of mushrooms out in their decor this year, and so I went ahead and picked this one up because I thought it was super cute with the pumpkins and the mushrooms. It's a great deal. It's a rubber backed mat. You could actually put this mat in your kitchen as well, and I think it's definitely worth the $5, and the designs are pretty high-end looking. I think they're cute. Let me know if you're gonna pick one of these up. For our first project, we're going to make a super simple sign. Now, on a difficulty level, I give this a 1 out of 5. Anyone can make this. So we picked up this plank sign. It's just a basic brown color to start with. We're going to add some burnt orange acrylic paint and cover the whole thing. Then once our paint is dried, we're going to add some distressing, and we're going to use a chippy brush, and we're going to add some white folk art chalk paint. If you don't know what a chippy brush is, no worries. It is a paintbrush with some coarser hair. You're going to put as little of the paint on as you can, and when you brush it over, you get the chippy look of distressed. Hence the name, a chippy brush. If you're not sure where to pick those up, I got mine on Amazon in a box that had a couple different sizes, and I will link that down in my description box. So once we have our chippy paint on there for our white distressing, we're ready to add our sunflower. I picked up this sunflower at Hobby Lobby. It comes in a 2-pack. They're kind of an ornament. They have a clippy part on the back. We're going to remove the clippy part and the stem just by cutting the stem off. We're going to add some hot glue to the front and glue it on. Then to kind of give us a more high-end look, we're going to take this ribbon from Hobby Lobby. We're just going to glue it to the back of our sign, and then we're going to flip our sign over and add a little bit of an embellishment here to give it a even higher end look. So we're going to cut off 2 smaller pieces. We're going to tie 2 knots to make like one larger knot, and then we're going to glue those to the holes that are on the front of the sign. This makes it look like we tied a knot through it and is stringing it through the holes rather than just gluing it. I love to do this little detail. It just makes it so much more elevated. That is it for this simple project. Here it is styled for you guys. Let me know what you think about this one. So we're going to use our wood plank sign again. This was a pretty inexpensive sign, and so there is a lot of things that you can do with it. If this is something that you would like to see multiple projects of, let me know down in the comments and I could do a whole video on just this one plank sign. So we're going to cover it again with our burnt orange chalk paint, and then we're going to use our same chippy brush technique and give it some distressing over the top. Once we have those two steps completed, we're ready to do our pumpkin. So I picked up this stencil at Hobby Lobby. It is actually cheaper than the Dollar Tree. It comes out to be less than $1.25, and you get 2 stencils. We're going to use the pumpkin one here, and we're going to lay it on our sign. Now this stencil fits perfectly on the sign. We're going to line it up down at the bottom for the edge of our stencil. Now this sign has some shiplap lines in it, and we want to make sure that we can still see the shiplap lines after we have done our stenciling. So make sure not to get a lot of paint on your brush and not to get a lot of paint saturated into those lines. You want the lines to show. We're going to just go over our entire pumpkin, including the stem, and then we're going to let that dry. Now the key to stenciling, like I have said before, is a little paint in your brush. I use a very inexpensive stencil brush from the Dollar Tree, and it works just great. The true key is less paint. So when you're stenciling, less is more. Once it's dried, we're going to add a quick shabby bow, and all my ribbon here came from Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to cut 2 pieces of each of the ribbons, and then we're going to crisscross them, and then 1 extra third piece of our plaid ribbon, and we're going to tie that off in the middle to make our bow. We're going to hot glue that to the bottom of the stem, and then to add a little bit more high-end jazz to this sign, I took one of these beaded garlands I had over in the, I believe, kitchen area, or kind of where their garlands are, and we're going to cut it where the tassel is. We're then going to put some hot glue on the ends of those pieces, and we're going to hot glue them to the little holes at the front. Now this is going to give us the look that the beads are a hanger. I don't personally hang any of my signs up. I mostly use them as shelf setters or in part of my decor. Sometimes I put them on easels, but if you're going to hang this, you might not want to hang it from the beads, so just add a quick little hanger on the back of the sign. That is it for this one. This is again a difficulty level of 1 out of 5. Anyone can make this sign, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Let me know what you think about this one. If you've made it this far in the video, Kitty and I would love it if you hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and become a part of my YouTube family. If you're enjoying today's video and you have made it this far, comment down below the emoji of a leaf. Now let's get back to the project. Now I love entertaining, and Thanksgiving is kind of my time to shine. I do the whole dinner and I love to decorate. So I thought these really said napkin rings to me. They have a little beaded garland, they have a little hole part at the top, and then they have this cute little embellished piece at the bottom. I'm going to leave the beads the natural wood color. You could paint them if you would like. I'm only going to be painting the wooden piece at the bottom. Now I picked up 2 of each of the shapes, and we're going to color them with the pumpkin as a burnt orange, the leaf as the sage green folk art chalk paint I had, and then the acorn is just going to be a regular brown acrylic paint. Once I have that all painted on and it's dry, we're ready to do some distressing, and we're using our chippy brush again. We're just going to go over all the projects with the white folk art chalk paint. Once that has dried, you could totally stop here if you wanted to. I wanted to add a little bit of glam here, so I'm going to take some gold metallic paint and I'm just going to go with a smaller chippy brush all around the edges. I'm going to interject here. I wasn't paying attention at all, and I didn't notice that as I was using my smaller chippy brush around the edges that it was splattering all over. So make sure your workspace is protected and you have something down covering that, and that it's not getting splattered all over something that you are worried about. Once I have the gold paint all around the edges, that is it for this project. I think they are super cute. I can't wait to use them for Thanksgiving. Let me know what you guys think. And here it is styled for you. should have labeled this video difficulty level 1 out of 5 for projects, but again, this is another one of those projects that is a difficulty level of 1. This is probably the easiest project in the whole video, but this came from an inspiration I saw at Hobby Lobby while I was picking up supplies. Here's the actual garland that they have on sale. We can make it for cheaper even using supplies from Hobby Lobby, so we're going to do that today. We're just going to take some twine. This is a little bit thicker twine than you can get at the Dollar Tree, but you can also pick it up at Walmart, and I'll give you an option down in the description box. But you're going to cut it to the desired length that you want, and then we're just going to add our leaves. Now my leaves came from Hobby Lobby. I love these brown and blue leaves that they have there because navy is my favorite color to decorate for fall. But we're just going to take these little clothespins and we're going to clip them onto our twine. Now I do suggest you use a medium size clothespin here because these tiny ones weren't quite big enough to get the full sturdiness onto the twine. So definitely medium size clothespins. But that is it, friends. That's all you're going to do. You're going to clip it onto the twine and then you are done. I doubled mine up in the space that I was using it for, but again, this is customizable to whatever space you plan on hanging it. But here it is styled for you guys. Let me know what you think about this one. A viewer in a recent video asked me to do a project that they saw in the opening part of my video, and so this project is for her. Becky, I'm so excited to create this project for you. Here's her comment. She was really hoping that I could do something with this sign, so I hope I don't disappoint here, but this project is for you. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover this whole sign with navy blue paint, and I'm going to give you guys a tip here. This sign really warrants some spray paint, I think. If you're going to color it one solid color, spray paint is the way to go here because there are so many nooks and crannies, and this took me a really long time to paint. So definitely spray paint is an option for you. Spray paint this first. Once you have the base coat on here, I can't stress enough that the base coat is the important part of this project. You're going to want to pick up the project and you're just going to kind of hold it like this, and you're going to be looking inside. There's so many crevices in there that you want to make sure that you got all the paint, because it's going to be very hard to go back and cover that later, and it's going to be really noticeable once we add the next color. So once you have your base coat on and you don't have any other places that you need to do touch up, we're ready to add our next color. I decided to do gold here because I was going for a more high-end look, but as I was making this project, I was thinking this would be a really cute farmhouse project too. White paint on top or even a distressing on top would look really cute. So we're going to go ahead, add our gold paint. I do have to go back and do a little bit of touch-up. A very small brush is the best way to go on this top part because my brush was more like a small medium, and I did get some of the paint around the edges. So I went back and did some touch up. Then I had these gold leaves that I got at Hobby Lobby. Now these gold leaves are something. They are very bold and bright, and I originally was just going to use them on their own, but that was not happening. So I got out my blue and brown leaves as well. We're just going to kind of add them around here. We're going to use this sunflower. This one came in a 2-pack. We had already used the other one. So once we have our leaves on, we're going to glue our sunflower on. We're going to add some leaves in there to make it kind of evened out, and then that is it for this project. I love how the leaves end up turning out in the end. That becomes its kind of own statement piece, and I think altogether this is really a beautiful project. Becky, I hope you're excited and you got some inspiration. Here it is styled for you guys. Let me know what you think about this one. So recently, Hobby Lobby has come out with unfinished wood projects that they put out in their seasonal decor. This has been going on for maybe a year or two, and so in today's video, we're going to talk about whether or not those unfinished wood projects are worth the money and whether or not you should go out and get them today. So let's jump in to the projects. So we're going to start with one of the easier projects that you can pick up, and it's this large pumpkin. It's totally blank. I've done a different projects, a couple actually, with this same pumpkin last year, and I'll link that video down in the description box. But all we're going to do is start out painting this with a navy color. I'm just using acrylic paint here. We're going to cover it with our navy paint, and then once that's dry, I'm going to take some white chalk paint, and I'm going to use this foam kind of stenciling brush as a circle, and we're going to add some polka dots to our pumpkin. Once I have the polka dots on, and you want to make sure these are fully dry, we're going to take the Hello Fall sign they also had in the unfinished wood area. We're going to color that white as well with our folk art chalk paint, and then we're ready to assemble this one. All we're going to do is add some hot glue to our Hello Fall sign. We're going to put that onto our polka dots, and then that is it. I really love how this one turned out, and last year it was one of my favorite projects, so I definitely give this one a thumbs up. I think it's worth the price. It's large. You can't find a pumpkin this size anywhere else that's unfinished that gives you the option of doing what you want with it. Here it's styled for you guys. Let me know what you think about this one. So for this project, we're going to pick up the 3 pumpkin stack. Its original price is $5.99, and so on sale it is $3.59. We're going to cut out a pattern here before we start with our project, and this is kind of a fun idea if you need to do something that's raised on another project. I'm going to lay my copy paper down, and I'm just going to use my pencil and kind of run my pencil over the entire pumpkin. That's going to give me the raised edges are going to be darker, and then I'm going to use that section to cut out my pattern. So I go ahead and I do that for each one of the pumpkins on this pumpkin stack, and then I'm ready to create the pieces that I want to go there. So before I cut out any of my pieces, I'm going to go ahead and cover the pumpkins with my burnt orange acrylic paint. I love this color for fall. It's definitely one of my favorites. I'll link it down in the description box for you. So then I'm going to go ahead and cut out my fabric pieces for each one of the pumpkins. Now I'm just using some leftover fabric from the Dollar Tree along with some leftover jeans that I had, but if you have any kind of fabric on hand, you can use that, or Dollar Tree always has a lot of selection. Now, I'm not super happy with my Dollar Tree fabric. It's probably the glue option that I used. My fabric glue was totally dried out and I had to throw it away, so I used this Aleene's crafty glue instead. Once it dried, it kind of showed through a little bit in parts of the fabric area because the fabric is so thin. So I definitely recommend either doubling that up or using a thicker fabric. But we're going to cover those parts up, so it's going to work out. So we're going to go ahead, glue all of our pieces onto our pumpkin. I'm going to take some florals that I had on hand. These all came from the Dollar Tree, and we're just going to arrange them into each section of our pumpkin. So I start at the bottom, and I want them to each have a different type of floral. So I just go ahead and make a little arrangement. Using hot glue, I go ahead and hot glue them all down. I take a flower that also came from the Dollar Tree, add that into the middle, and then that is it for this project. I really like how this one turned out. I used this same pumpkin stack last year. That video will be down in the description box for you. I think overall it gets a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. For this project, we're going to use this shiplap pumpkin. Now, they've had this one for several years. I've done a few projects with these. I'll link those older videos down in my description box. It retails for $4.49, which is not on their 40% off chart, but it roughly comes out to around $2.99. Now we're going to do this a little different today. We're going to paint it all with some white folk art chalk paint, and instead of using like paper or anything like that, we're going to use a stencil. So this stencil I got at Walmart several years ago. I'm pretty sure they still have it. I've seen it there. If I can find it, I'll link it for you in the description box. But you're going to use like 3 of the 4 patterns here. Once we have our pumpkin dry, we're going to take some painter's tape. We're going to tape off where the shiplap line is, and then we're going to put our stencil down. Now the key to stenciling is to make sure that your stencil brush has as little paint as possible. That will make sure that you don't have any bleeding or run through. That's where most of the problems come from when stenciling, is that you have too much paint in your brush. You just need to make sure you get off any excess paint before you start doing the stencil. Once we have gone through each of the patterns, we have this super cute pattern pumpkin. So to finish it off, we're going to add these leaves that I got from Hobby Lobby. They have a huge leaf selection there. It's super fun. My favorite is the navy and brown ones. Let me know if you have a favorite leaf color. So once I have these leaves, I'm just going to hot glue them up at the top. I took this leather leaf that I got from Hobby Lobby last year, or no, I think it actually came from the Dollar Tree last year. I'm going to take the strap part. It has a little knot. I'm just going to cut that off and glue it up where the hole is, and then we're going to glue that over our leaves. That is it for this project. I really like this pumpkin. I think it's versatile. I think it leads to lots of different styles and lots of different projects. So this one gets a thumbs up from me. Let me know what you think about this one. Made it this far in the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you be a part of my family. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you're interested or ever craft with the Hobby Lobby unfinished wood. So for this project, we're going to create the wooden garland. I think this one's new. I don't remember seeing it last year. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Let me know if you've seen this one before. But I went ahead and picked this up. Original price is $4.99. It makes it $2.99 while it's on sale. We're going to go ahead and we're going to just use these as a pattern. I picked up this burlap at the Dollar Tree. I've had it for a while. I thought it'd be fun to make this garland. Now I know these are untraditional colors for fall, but I know everyone has their own style, so this is just for some inspiration in case you're into untraditional colors. So I'm going to go ahead and make these a pattern using a Sharpie. I just trace around each of them, cut out the pieces of the burlap. I'm using my Aleene's glue again, and we're just going to cover each of the wood pieces with the Aleene's glue, and we're going to attach our burlap piece. Now I chose to make some shabby bows here for these. That is just where I take ribbon that I have and I just make little pieces. I crisscross them. I'm also using some pieces from burlapfabric.com. If you want to check that out, I'll have the link to their website down in my description box. I really love this linen ribbon. It's kind of like using fabric ribbon, which is one of my favorite things to use as a ribbon. And I just love the polka dots in this one. So once I have all these little pieces of material, I just take a piece of jeans and tie it off in the middle. If you're not using jeans, you're just going to use a piece of fabric or another piece of ribbon. Tie that off in the middle. It becomes part of your bow and it looks very professional. Once you have those all completed, all we're going to do is take some hot glue, glue them to the top of each of the projects, and then that is it. Now I really love how this project turned out. However, this wooden garland is so heavy. I had a hard time hanging it up on my mantle. You're definitely going to need something to anchor it down wherever you're like putting it, whether it's on a shelf or your mantle. So this gets a thumbs down for me just because it's so heavy and I'm not really sure that it is functional, like if you want to put it in several different places. But here it is styled for you guys. Let me know what you think about this one and if you'd be willing to try this heavy garland. So I have saved the two biggest projects for last. I did also save them for last at crafting because I was a little intimidated by these two. Now, we're going to talk about quality here first. They are priced at $17.99. The sale price makes them $10.79. Now, that's a little bit on a higher price for some unfinished wood. However, these are super thick signs. They are high quality. I personally think they get a thumbs up in terms of the price and quality that you have here. We're going to find out now if we think crafting with them is worth it as well. So we're going to start with the pumpkin stack. Now, originally, I tried to stay within the lines of all the lines of the pumpkin, but I quickly realized that I had gone over a couple of the areas and I wasn't really sure how to get the paint off of those lines. I'm using copper acrylic paint here, so I just decided to instead try to just cover the entire thing. So the entire inside of all the pumpkins I covered with my copper metallic paint. Now, I did take careful consideration on the outside of the pumpkin only because there is a lip of that unfinished wood and it would look funny if we painted all the way to the edge. Once I have that painted and it's dried, I took my gold acrylic paint and I went over the lines of the inside of the pumpkins. Now, you could go as careful as you want. I just kind of went in the general area to kind of cover up any of that pieces that were shining through there. And then that is all I'm going to do for the inside of the pumpkin. I do paint the stem gold, and then I take one of my favorite leaves from Hobby Lobby and I'm going to glue that up in the area where the leaf was. I decided to add another shabby bow here. This one I just had on hand from a different project, but it's the same process. You're just going to crisscross your ribbons, jeans, whatever you have. You're going to tie that off in the middle, and then you have this super fun bow. I also have some of that burlap fabric ribbon in this one, which is definitely my favorite. I ran out. This is the end of that. I'm going to have to pick up some more because I really truly loved crafting with that ribbon. So that is it for this project. Let me know what you guys think about this one. I'm going to give it a thumbs up, although I thought this would be the easier of the two projects to craft with, and I found that I thought this was the harder of the two. So you're going to let me know down in the comments which of these two bigger projects you think you'd want to work with. Now, I saved my favorite project for last. I don't usually do that. I usually try to have it at the beginning of the middle, but I saved him for last. He was so fun to craft with. So again, he's $17.99. Sale price $10.79. He gets a thumbs up for the quality. I was a little worried about the pattern on the front and how I was going to do that because obviously these patterns lend to painting rather than any kind of other like mixed media. But we're going to use some other projects or products for him as well. So I'm going to start by painting him, and I'm just using some acrylic paint I had on hand. We're going to cover his overalls blue like a jean material. I decided to go with Americana theme here, so his shirt is red, and then we're going to go ahead paint his nose gold. I decided to go ahead and paint the straw pieces gold as well, even though we're going to cover those up here in a second. His hat is also blue with a red stripe to match his shirt, and then I painted his feet black for black shoes. The only part of this project that I don't really like is the middle piece between his legs. It warrants just this sort of a weird unfinished wood area there because the shoes, like you're painting the shoes at the bottom. So, but after I get him all done, I really don't care about it after that. But once we have that done, we're ready to add our other sort of embellishments. So I took some raffia that I got from Hobby Lobby. We're going to just cut it into pieces and we're going to apply it wherever there was straw. So that's on his hands, on his legs, up by his head. You can put as much or as little as you want. I was trying to cover up any of the patterned pieces that they had drawn on there. It's okay if some of the gold showed through. I just didn't want a lot of the pattern pieces to show through. Once I had that done, I took some fabric I had on hand. I cut out some little scraps to make for his patches on his pants, and then I also cut out a piece of fabric to make the pocket on his overalls. Now I only glued around the outside edge, and so the pocket is open at the top if I choose to put anything in it. I also picked up this sunflower at Hobby Lobby. We're going to apply the sunflower up at the top of his head where the sunflower piece was, and we're going to cover that up with this super beautiful sunflower. That is, oh, I forgot about the scarf. So for his scarf, we're going to go ahead and take that same material. I did not cut out a pattern here. I wanted it to be fuller and thick there. So all I did was tie it around his neck and then kind of fluff it out and glue it on. I go ahead and cut off any excess on the back and I glue that down as well. And when it gets turned over, he has this really cute fluffy scarf. Now that is it, and I love this guy. I want to make several of these. My mom also wanted one, so we're gonna make her one, but he is definitely worth the price of that $10.79. There are so many things you can do with him, and they can definitely be customized to your style, so he gets a big thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments if you're gonna craft with him. I would love to see the pictures if you do any of this unfinished wood, so you can always send them to me at aperfectplacetostart78@gmail.com or send them to me on Instagram. Here he is styled for you guys. Let me know what you think about him. So my overall rating of the unfinished wood at Hobby Lobby is a really big giant thumbs up. I love using their unfinished wood products there. I've done a lot of different DIYs with those projects and I think that they turn out beautiful. They are a little bigger and oversized than other places and they're definitely a higher quality wood. Let me know if you're going to make any of these projects, and like I mentioned before, send them to me at aperfectplacetostart78@gmail.com and I'll feature them here in another video. Thank you so much for being here. If you have made it to the end of this video, I give you a big thank you. And as always, wherever you are in your journey is a perfect place to start, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!